good afternoon. Got something really exciting to do today. Clean the bike. Cleaning the bike is something that a lot of people seem to neglect, but it is an important part of keeping your bike well maintained. So the first thing I've had to do is take the bags off, and something I forgot to mention the other day when I fitted them is that they are detachable. They've got these zips on either side, and you unzip them, just untie the lace or the strap that's around the back of the suspension, and they lift off. So that's that done. The other thing before I wash it down is I need to put the cap on the USB port and make sure that that's covered up so no water goes in there. And I also leave the key in the ignition to make sure that no water gets in there. And as you can see, she's quite dirty. Most of this is really gritty dirt from in the docks I rode in the other night. Very dusty when it's dry, very muddy once it gets wet. Yeah, lovely. So yeah, she needs a good clean, and that's what she's going to get today. Now, some of the important things to remember when you're cleaning your bike is don't ever clean it when it's hot or the bike itself is hot. If you've been out on a ride on your bike and it's boiling, let it cool down before you start washing it, because a lot of the chemicals that you put on there will dry very, very quickly and will burn into the paint or stain the paint or stain the metalwork of your bike. Also, some of the chemicals that you use, you don't want to leave on for too long, because some of the chemicals, if you spray them onto rubber parts, will actually start to stain them as well. And for instance, on the car, if you spray some of the chemicals on the car windscreen, you'll see the colour coming out of the rubber, and like a liquidishy colour running down your screen, and that's where it's eating in and perishing the rubber and destroying it. So don't leave it on for too long. And what I always tend to do is make sure that the bike, I wash it down first with the hose, just to make sure that it's all wet before I start spraying stuff on, so it can't dry quickly onto it. But you need to get on and get it washed off, and don't let it dry. Also, I definitely know that it was in the manual for the Bolt, and it suggests in there that you do not use a pressure washer or jet washer or steam cleaner. I don't. I use a hose, but the hose has got a high pressure thing on it, but I always use it on a low pressure. However, if you do use a jet washer, then all I suggest is you stand well back and spray it from a distance, because you don't want to be spraying high pressure into some of the hoses, into some of the electrical connections, and actually forcing them apart or damaging them. Something else that you don't want to be doing is you don't want to be washing your bike when it's freezing cold or when it's likely to be cold the next day. Reason being, again, because you get water into all the little crevices which you might not be able to get out, and then the water will freeze, expand, and then it damages parts of your bike. So yeah, those are the things you don't want to be doing. Right, let's get on with it. So the chemicals I use are the good old Muck Off motorcycle cleaner, all the pink stuff, and then good old Turtle Wax to give it a good wash afterwards, and a good old sponge, bucket and brush. Note there's two sponges, and I'll explain why that is in a minute. Now you want to go careful when you're going around your air filter. If it's a bolt you're cleaning and you've got the original air filter on there, or air intake box. Not such a problem because it's basically all plastic, it's all fixed in, there's only a hole around the back of it. But if, like me, you've got the V&H filter on there, you need to go careful. You don't want to get that absolutely soaking wet, so just go careful when you're going around that. Areas of note though are underneath there, where all the dirt flies up from off the front wheel, around where the oil filter is. Making sure you get all the dirt out of there. Around your starter motor, so it gets stuck in behind it, and underneath. In there, where again all the dirt shoots up, and by going around it with the hose pipe first, you're clearing most of the dirt off, or most of the actual grit, which is what you don't want to get on your sponge. Then if you go over your paintwork with it, you're going to damage your paintwork, it's going to get scratched. And yeah, again, I apologise for the planks. Got a bike that's belt driven, they recommend that you don't get any chemicals on it, or if you do, you get them on there and you get them off quite quick, so again it doesn't start eating into the rubber, such as like the Muck Off or some of the film removers that you can actually buy that are quite strong detergents. They will eat into it, so you need to be careful doing that. That's generally the most of the dirt washed off it now, so now what I do is I go around and spray it with the old Muck Off. Now I don't tend to put too much of the Muck Off actually on the paintwork, because I go around it with zip wax anyway, which give it a better clean, and also because then, as I've already said, the chance of it drying too quickly and staining the paintwork, I don't want that. You will be able to get it off, but you end up having to T-cut stuff, and that then can ruin your paint or your lacquer. So yeah, I just generally do mainly the grotty bits of the bike, around the wheels, around the engine, around the frame, where all the little dirt and grit and shit gets. And also I don't intend to leave it on there for too long, because like I said, it can dry, and that's why again you want to try not to clean your bike in direct sunlight. What I normally do is, once I've gone round the whole bike with it, I'll leave it for a couple of minutes, and then I'll get there and start washing it off. So all I've done now is just gone around and just washed off the Muck Off, and as you can already see, it's a lot better than what it was. Okay, so I've not rubbed it or touched it or anything yet. That was just with the muck off sprayed on it, left for a little bit, and then rinsed off with the hose pipe. And as you saw, the hose pipe isn't like a jet wash, it just washes it very, very carefully. So now I'll go around it with the sponge and the zip wax, or basically normal car wax shampoo, and clean the rest of it off. Once I've gone round and put car shampoo or zip wax shampoo on the paintwork, then I'll rinse that off. As I said earlier, I've got two sponges. One's for the paintwork and the other one I use for going around the rest of the frame and the wheels and the areas that are likely to get a lot of grime and a lot of grit. That way I've not used the same sponge onto the paintwork, which then could cause scratching. So that's the next job. Now with the wheels, I've also got a brush that I can go around inside, give them even more of a clean round. So I've gone around it with a sponge, do that both sides, just make sure I'm getting in there. Now obviously what I'm also going to do is, once I've rinsed these off again, I will move the bike forward so the wheels rotate, so that I can get in to the area of the wheels that I've missed at the moment. Because of the way it's parked. But even with a brush you can get in there quite well. Right, time to rinse that off now. So that's it, washed off. Today I'm only doing a quick wash down, so what I will do, go around it with a chamois leather now and chamois it all off and dry it off as best I can. I'll probably put some Auto Gleam resin polish on the tank to give that a bit of a shine up, and on the rear mudguard and the front mudguard, and I'll probably put some ACF 50 onto the exhaust heat shields just to make them look a bit cleaner and shiny, and that's generally going to be it. Now if I was going to do a little bit more of a detailed clean, what I would do, I'd still go around and chamois most of the water off of it, and then I'll put it away and either come out later on in the day or the next day once the bike's all dry, and then go round it and start cleaning it a lot more in depth. What I've done in the past is I've got a small brush with some ACF 50 on it, and I've brushed inside all of the fins on the engine to clean them out, because they quite often go dry and sort of like dusty, and get like a powdery coating on them, so that helps against that. As you can see, they're not like that now, and the last time I'd done that was around Christmas time, so they've lasted quite well. I'll go around the wheels with a sort of like cleaner. It's a dash cleaner from Auto Gleam, which is a greeny colour, and I actually call it snot. That's the best way to describe what it looks like. It's a bit greasy, but you put it on the wheels and it brings them up nice and shiny, and then you go around and take the grease off afterwards, and that brings them up nicely as well. And then any of the like the plastics, because there are plenty of plastics on there, you can just go around them and clean them with the same stuff. But ACF 50 is brilliant stuff. What I've done before is all of this has been coated in ACF 50. That's one of the reasons why I haven't gone that mad with the sponge and the cleaner around the bottom part of the frame, because all of that is coated in ACF 50, and if I washed it all off, then I'd end up having to get there and redo it again. So now, I'm just going to go around it and chamois it now and get all the excess water off of it before I put it away. So that's the next job. Now obviously, if you've got a compressor or an airline and you're able to go around and blow most of the water off, then it's going to save you a lot of time, but I haven't, and so it's back to the old-fashioned way of using the chamois. Now again, the chamois has been well and truly washed and cleaned in water, so it's not got any dirt or any grit on it, and same as when I cleaned it, I'm going to go round and do the paintwork first, and then get onto the frame and the engine part, so that I don't contaminate the paintwork with any dirt or grease that may be stuck in the chamois. But all the way through, I'll keep cleaning the chamois. The other stuff I've mentioned, which I used to clean my bike with, is Auto Gleam bumper and trim cleaner. Now this is the stuff that I said that I call it snot. You can see the reason why. Okay, this is brilliant for putting on any sort of like trim plastic, but you can put it on metal as well, but it just leaves it a little bit greasy, so you need to wipe it off afterwards. It's alright, they're not after me. And the other thing I use is the super resin body polish from Auto Gleam as well. This is a whitey and a creamy sort of like stuff. Put it on, let it dry. Goes a bit powdery, so you might have to wipe stuff over again to get the powder off, but this brings your paintwork to a really good shine. Now with this stuff, you splash it all over like a bit of brute. No, you don't. You put it on carefully with a cloth. Stuff you can put on any of the paintwork, and also you can use it on chrome. You can use it on windows, but I wouldn't put it on a windscreen of a car because it would just smell like fuck, but you can use it on glass. So for today, that's the bike finished. Now don't forget, that was just a quick clean, quick wash off and clean down, not full detail, which I will do another day. So let's have a look at it, shall we? Bish bosh, they went on a lot easier than I thought they were going to. So yeah, there you have it, nice and clean, ready to get dirty again. Thanks for watching.